All right, so the Suns, they've been busy with the center position, really, really busy. And that includes signing Mason Plumlee to a one-year deal. That's one of the reported deals the Suns have done so far with free agency starting to be a backup big. They drafted rookie Oso Ighodaro. They brought back Bol, who's, I guess technically a center, but really plays more like a four. And, of course, they've got Nurk coming back as well. And, look, it's social media, so take it for what it's worth. But there has been a lot of chatter, I think, on social media today in and around Suns fans and those who cover the team about Jusuf Nurkic, given how much activity the Suns have put in at the center position. And frankly, given how many centers are kind of already off the board in free agency only a couple of days in, it's led some to ask whether the Suns, A, can they revisit possibly trading Jusuf Nurkic with 2 years left on his deal? And B, should they want to revisit trading Jusuf Nurkic if he's got? And then I guess the other, can they? Should they? Can they? Do they want to? So much so that Gambo on vacation actually tweeted out, again, I'm hearing the Suns have no intentions of trading Jusuf Nurkic, which is probably the smart play. But you do wonder if somebody comes and makes them some sort of an offer, are they prepared enough to withstand trading Nurk if somebody called and offered them something they couldn't say no to?
Well, okay, what position would you be trading for? You're trading your center for, you're taking point guard, right?
Let's say a point guard.
Point guard. Okay, so yes, but it would have to be the right point guard. I think Nurk does so many good things for this basketball club. You wouldn't just give him up for, just a second tier, third tier point guard just to get a warm body in that position.
Totally
Nurk,
agree.
11
Totally
points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists last year. They're a plus 13 per 100 possessions when he's on the floor. He does too many good things for this squad. I think he's a balancing factor for some of the other guys last year that, like I said, weren't always happy around that team last year. Nurk always seemed like he was really solid. The only time the Suns really had slippage is when he missed a couple games in a row and, when they were trying to make that final push down the stretch to secure that sixth spot. Yeah, it's a big noticeable absence when Nurk is not on the floor.
Oh, no doubt.
And I don't know where they find that in Mason Plumlee, not knowing that you have Mason Plumlee from the 22-23 season and not the Mason Plumlee from last year.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point. First of all, it's got to be said, and it needs to be said again, this team's, all of their ratings, all of their metrics, when Jusuf Nurkic was on the floor versus when he was off the floor, it's night and day. I mean, it really is. He truly exceeded my expectations when he came up. First of all, he played many more games than I thought he could, given his injury history. And the things he did on the floor, yes, there are flaws. He's not much of a three-point shooter. He's not much of a finisher around the rim. He misses a lot of bunnies. That kind of drives you a little bit crazy. But they were no doubt a better basketball team with him on the floor than they were with off. This to me is not a conversation about Nurk's flaws and what he can't do. This is a conversation about his salary and how limited the Suns are in bringing expensive talent onto the roster. They just don't have a way to do it. Everything's a vet minimum signing. It's the best. It's the only thing they can do. To me, this conversation is less about Nurk's flaws and more about, hey, here's an $18 million salary that if somebody wanted to take that off your hands and was offering something that maybe you were missing, like a point guard, would you reconsider it now that you've signed Mason Plumlee and now that you've drafted Oso Ighodaro? And I guess you make a good point. It just kind of depends on who's offering what at that point, right?
Yeah, well, listen, you brought me into this segment basically by saying, as a 15-year big man in the NBA, right? I think you got to have an anchor on that back line there, and a big center. Listen, I'm old school. I know the game is played out there beyond that arc. It's nice to have a center that can knock down threes, but at the end of the day, you still got to have somebody inside to grab the rebounds, to clog the lane, to put a body on and put the fear of God in some of the drivers from time to time and taking a hard foul. So unless you got an opportunity to, like I said, get a tier 1 point guard, you keep your big fella.
Yeah. Look, this time a year ago, Gambo was reporting, not that Gambo was wrong, because he wasn't. Gambo was reporting they're not trading Ayton. They're not trading Ayton. They're not trading Ayton. And then
What'd they do?
They traded him because there was a deal that materialized that was brought to them, or that they helped organize and facilitate, however you want to look at it, that ultimately made them a better basketball team. The Suns won that deal by trading DeAndre Ayton and getting Grayson Allen and Yusuf Nurkic back. And it just, for all of the, nope, they're not trading Nurk, they're not trading Nurk. If some team thought they were going to get a center in free agency and doesn't, and they think to themselves, okay, let's circle back. Do we want 2 years of Yusuf Nurkic at $18 million? What could we give? It might be no for now, but these things do change. They always change in this league. And I think you have to be at least thoughtful of the, but if they do move him, to your point, man, now it's Mason Plumlee and Oso Ighodaro, and it's Bol, and it's thin. You go from having a lot of guys who can play a little to a little number of guys, and you're not sure whether you're good enough at the center position.
Yeah, and I like Mason Plumlee as a veteran. If he can get back to that year ago, but you're not going to put a rookie in a position where he's got to play a lot of minutes back there to go on with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker.
Minutes, yes, but not a lot of minutes. Yeah, minutes, yes, but not a lot of minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
but you don't want to have a bulk of the minutes. That's for sure.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.